Kind of startups I've been involved with.
What really started all of this thing was right after COVID. All business starts with a problem.
Other forms of advertising.
Planner, it's like on an Excel, is $40. People who does this without even showing their face.
All these rare plants and willing to pay stupid money for a cutting.
She does clip-on nails. I'm not sure where she's getting it from, but she branded really well. I recently discovered you can actually just go talk to suppliers via the app.
Those online communities can be quite lucrative because
the thing I'll say about buying a business as opposed to starting one, which it's a little bit speculative.
Because not everyone is on Facebook, on social media. The older generation may not necessarily be onto that technology.
It will just get worse. I think it will just all die in social media. I just can't see how we can avoid the internet. Today, I will share with you about my own journey on my business. Feel free to jump in with questions all along. I'm pretty cool with that. Not like super serious, but because my corporate background means that I need to do presentation, I might get everyone share quickly what you're doing. Aaron, do you mind starting off?
Yeah, sure, no worries. So my name's Aravind, a Melbourne High class of 16. I am a CA, chartered accountant, and I have gone on a career break to expand my tutoring business. July 2022, I started AT Academy as a company. And basically, the main focus of it is the 11 and 12 VC accounting and business management. I haven't got to 20K a month yet like Nhien, but we're around 10K a month.
Next on my screen is Alan.
My name's Alan, the Melbourne High class of 2012. I never really thought I'd enter the business world. I graduated law. I was in law for a little bit, and then I was around the public sector for a bit, and then I thought I want to look for a new challenge. I didn't know what that challenge would look like. A hard pivot from public sector to the alcohol and events industry. So as of 1 July this year, so very fresh, I run a company called Bargo Events. Our main kind of shtick is we do portable tap beer bars that we wheel out to events and functions and birthdays and everything in between. It's quite a learning curve, but I'm enjoying it so far. And I'm looking forward to hearing about someone whose journey's been a little bit longer than 2 months.
Louisa?
Hi, everyone. My name's Louisa, MacRob, class of 02. I am still in the corporate world. However, I am always been toying up the idea of starting my own business. It's more of a question of what. So very keen to learn and from everyone else. And who knows, maybe this time next year I'll have something to tell you.
Richard?
Melbourne High class of 96. Working as an engineering manager in Melbourne at the moment, having worked 10 years overseas in Mumbai, Singapore, and San Francisco in various startups. I lost count of startups I've been involved with, but never actually run my own. I went through the UniMel MAP Melbourne Accelerator program last year with a couple of startup ideas. I'm pursuing one of those, which is on online training involving culture. So basically teaching culture using a pub trivia quiz style system. That's me.
Carol? You can type it, Carol, just starting your own dental business. I do know someone who started their own dental business, so I could probably introduce you.
Is it also in the group? We've got someone who's also heavily involved in the association.
Wayne, I think.
Hey, can I ask Richard a question? What kind of culture do you teach?
Sure.
Is it like languages
pretty
or?
much. No, culture in terms of how to give and receive feedback, how to communicate using email, Slack, how to ensure effective communication, playback, auto playback, those sort of skills. And also psychological safety is a big one at the moment.
Excellent. What's the name of your company? I'm just really interested, just for work purposes.
I'm still deciding on the actual name for it, but had registered littlemba.com for a while. If you have a good name, please let me know. I'm trying to call the app, so the actual product, I'm trying to call it CAT, which is a Culture Accelerator Tool.
Awesome. That's something I know that my workplace could really use. So very keen to hear more about it when you progress. Thanks.
Back to you, Eliza.
So I'm working in tech at the moment. I teach with car parts importation from Japan, quarantine processes, and then also dealing with packing and sending stuff, dealing with insurance companies and things like that. Probably looking for something on the side that isn't going to be too painful. I really like your Catio kind of idea, so just interested to hear what sort of business ideas.
Michelle?
I don't know how to quantify uni at the moment.
I think that's great that we are all at different stages of our life, and that's where I found that us catching up with these different topics is very useful. A bit about me. I was from the class of 2011, and I went to uni, also did a law degree as well, like Alan, law and commerce. After that, I started my career doing management consulting at Deloitte. A lot of that work was around audit and assurance for bankings and insurance companies. Then after that, I went into the industry themselves to do compliance work, and I'm still doing that at the moment. It is a great role if anyone interested in risk compliance. It's an area that I'm still quite interested and passionate in. But what really started all of this thing was right after COVID, when I started thinking about investing in properties. On that journey, I started engaging an investment property mentor. One of the strategy that he had was and it's like the most boring strategies you can have, which is just buy more and hold, which worked for the previous generation. They just bought a lot of property, they just held it, and 10 years later, the property just doubled. The idea is that you buy 5 properties, wait another 10, 15 years, you'll be able to sell 2 of them, and that'll pay off the mortgage for the 3 other ones. Then you end up with a home and 2 investment property. With that strategy, though, there's a limitation, which is that you have to have the increased borrowing capacity to be able to keep going on that journey. After you get the first investment property, or in this, if you can push it, you can probably get to the second. There's a limit in terms of how much you can borrow, and unless your income increase, you actually can't borrow more. That made me realize that I needed another source of revenue, and that's where my brain started going to the whole business world. That's a bit of context on how I started. I think all business starts with a problem. I think the best business starts with a problem that we personally have because we're more passionate about it. It started for me because I adopted my cat, Toasty. That was in August 2023. Before this, I'd never had a pet in my life. I had goldfish when I was 9, but I don't really count as pet, but it died on me like 2 months in. So Toasty was my family's very first pet. When I adopted her, the foster carer told me that she has to be an indoor cat. It's because she's a bit roguish. She's a very short hair, just a seal point. It's a bit of a rare color. That if anyone sees her on the street, they might actually take her and try to sell her. So that's one issue. And then the other issue is that she's always been an indoor cat, so she's not street smart. If you leave her wandering outside, she might get hit by a car. She's also my little sister's emotional support animal. That just meant that she has to stay indoor for her own safety. I didn't realize this was an issue at all. I had an auntie who had a cat, but that cat could go in and out, no issues. But then I encountered this problem of, oh, my cat has to stay inside all the time, which I think it's quite sad. I realized there was this thing called catios, which is a combination of the word cat and patio. It's like an outdoor area that's contained, that's enclosed for your cats to enjoy. So that's where that word came from. I think it's more of an American thing. What happened after that was I got to build a cat enclosure. This is just outside my sister's bedroom. It has a seesaw pole rope thing. I was like, this is really nice. My mom designed it. I realized it was such an interesting problem. I did a lot of research. There are other cat builders out there, but there's not that many. I was like, there's an opportunity here, and then got to chat with my family, and then they were like, yeah, okay, let's give it a try. Come December that year, all I did was I started a Facebook page. And within the first week, we got an inquiry. That went really well, got good reviews from that. Then January, I realized there was Facebook ads. After that, we went to launch our Facebook group because I realized there was no group for cat enclosures. For that a year, we exhibited at the Cat Lovers Festival. From that, we really started getting a lot of word of mouth. and referrals. Since then, I didn't have to run any more Facebook ads, which is actually quite expensive. It was like $23 a week, but it was working though. We were getting regular inquiries from those ads as well. I've been quite busy because I still do this alongside my 9 to 5 job. But I'm quite proud of the social media because I did all that. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I was also on YouTube, but it didn't really take off. You really need to know where your audience are and recap people. They're generally on social media. I think TikTok, I actually got quite a few customers from TikTok as well, but most of my customers came from Facebook and Instagram, which I think where most of the millennials and the boomers and the older people are on. That's the people that generally has the money to spend on their pets. It's going really well. Regular interactions on all these platforms, and you want to be able to develop that kind of organic audience because people would then refer you to their friends and they'll share your page and all of that. And luckily, with the kind of work that we did, there's a lot of videos, content that I could post. Financial wise, it's something that has helped my family substantially with this business, especially after that cat show that I mentioned. We got a lot of good jobs over that summer. And with that money, it helped with the deposit for my brother's home. We were able to get the next property as a family, and it's changed our life significantly. Margin wise, is a kind of business that a trading business, you need a bit of a margin. And because there's actually not that many competitors in this space, I think we're holding a pretty good margin. Any questions before I talk about the different online business models?
When you were doing ads and stuff, do you know what your click-through rate and conversion rates were and stuff?
Yeah, I did. This Facebook ad actually went really well. There was like 300 comments on it and 200 shares. It was because people were debating in the comment section around whether we should enclose our cat or not. There are people out there who doesn't believe in that. I remember there was definitely like for every like $30, I was able to get at least 2 customers, and that meant that because we had good profit margin, like it more than covered the ads. I had someone tell me just keep running the ads, but I don't really like the idea of spending money on ads. There's other ways because we have the word of mouth and the organic traffic. I think it's not really needed, and we're not really scalable. We're not planning to employ more people in a moment. But if your product is a type that you will get the money back, then the more money you spend on ads, you would get that money back. But you need a good content. You need the ad to be good that should convert. People will be hooked by it and want the product. I'm sure we all see on our social media, if we go on it, like we'll see an ad that's just specifically one product, one customer avatar, and it was instantly hooked. And that keeps coming up over and over again. That's the strategy. Any other question?
I have a question. You mentioned your parents and you. Did your brother help out as well, or were you the social media, the marketing?
My brother's engineer, but he doesn't help at all. You just get the benefit of it.
How did you decide how much time you were spending on social media versus other forms of advertising?
It's pretty much 100% on, not 100%, 95% on social media because that's probably where people spend the most time in. And then to have your store at this cat show, we had a good deal because it was towards the end and the person really wanted someone to be a Catio business and fill a spot. I got the store for, it was a 3 meter by 3 meter store for 2K. If we were to do it again this year, which we're probably not because 3K, and even though we will make it back, it's a lot of effort to prepare and organize as well. But they're pretty affordable if you think you can make it back. If you know your audience are all there, then you know that you're going to get a good return.
How did you deal with your own personal leave when you went on holidays or you went overseas? Did you just stop the business or?
We'll just pause the business. We'll just pause and I'll just like reply to inquiries by email when I check. So it will have to pause, but you actually can schedule content. When I have a day that's just like batch content, you can schedule it like throughout the whole month. I have all the clips and I just schedule it.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, let me know if there's any other questions later. As simple as it gets when it comes to just when you have an actual service and you just want to promote it online and people need that service and it's a real problem. I'll talk to you guys about different models of online business. My journey, what I've done is I actually spent a lot of money on like buying online courses about how to do online business and all of that. And it all comes down to these three main ones. The first one is around online courses and virtual products. This was one that I thought was quite good because it's a passive model in the sense that you create a product first, and then once you set up the system, people just buy the product online and it will be delivered digitally. You don't have to do any extra work on it technically. It's a great model in that sense, and it works really well for knowledge-based type of products. For example, this is Mark Burnett guy on YouTube, and he has like 1 million followers. He has this art course, and you can just buy the course for 500 or 1,000. Once he's already created it, he has an audience, people who's interested in learning about that particular skill, they'll buy the online course. It's all delivered virtually, and sometimes you didn't have to even be actively involved. There are courses where there's an online course and then there's some active involvement from the person as well. Then what I was looking at as well is Etsy. So on Etsy, there are people out there who has digital products that they sell. For example, this Etsy wedding budget planners thing. I'll quickly show you guys how this Etsy works. You can see here that this planner is like on an Excel is $40 and there's 200 reviews. You can see how like even 200 people buying this planner, I lost all my math skill, but that's still a good amount of money.
Yeah, you get it back in a couple of, just even one person buying it.
Yeah.
And then anything after that would be considered your profit once you, the cost of having that store set up.
Yeah, because it's good in terms of the only expense you have is to pay Etsy commission, or if you were hosting online,
Yeah.
pays a hosting fee. But I've seen more.
Shopify, yeah.
I've seen like 1,000, like 2,000 on this like very simple budget planner, and I'm like, who would buy that? It's just a digital download. You buy it, and it immediately goes to your email and it's all automated in the background. So technically, you just create this once and then sell it. You can see here that this one has 10K, like $30, 10K reviews. So at least they 30K? They made 30K out of this. I'm always intrigued if this is right, but it does seem legit. You could see the more niche you go, there's more specific demands for it. Like for us nerds, if you're good at Excel and you have interest in this, then you can start this kind of thing and start a passive flow of income from it. This becomes a bit competitive. There's still opportunities, but that's just one way, and you can apply it in many different contexts. Like that art guy I was talking about, he also sells like digital art brush. I'm not really into art work, but my sister is, and she was telling me you can buy this paintbrush of his that's a digital brush that he somehow coded. The main reason why I didn't pursue this is because you do need an audience for it to work, especially the online course one. It worked really well for this guy because he has like 1 million followers on YouTube, and he's really good what he does. But you can see here his course, he's in $400. He just sell on passive mode. He doesn't really teach as part of it. It's great in terms of you have that knowledge, some sort of niche knowledge to share, and you can package it up, course curriculum, and then sell it. But it's a lot of effort upfront. I also think that if you want a regular income from it, then you do need some audience. The second path, which I'm actually looking into at the moment, is e-commerce, or some people use the word drop shipping. Drop shipping is you don't really brand it, you just buy cheap stuff in China or whatever, and then you just try to sell it on Amazon. But e-commerce is a bit more niche in that in terms of you establish a brand around it. So you still buy the product from China, whatever, but when you go to the manufacturer in China, you ask them to put your logo on it, you customize it. And when you import it, you sell it under your own brand. You could actually ask the manufacturer to design certain, customize your product in that certain design, and they make it. That costs money with the sampling and stuff. Like clothes, I'm looking at cat furniture at the moment. It's crazy what you can do. There's people out there who does that. I'm putting the audio here because that's an example of an e-commerce business that's just selling clothes. I've been seeing this girl's page, Glow by Her, keeps popping up on my feed. She's based in Sydney. She's millennial. She's quite young-ish. Popping up. She does clip-on nails. I'm not sure where she's getting it from, but she branded really well. The main thing in that business model is you need to establish some sort of branding, have a really nice website, and be able to source the product and brand it in a way that's going to be relatable to your audience and people will buy it. So that's e-commerce. I recently discovered you can actually just go talk to suppliers via the apps like Alibaba or Made in China. You give them the design and they can create you a sample. They'll give you the price of the sample. There is something called a minimum order quantity. That means that if you like what they made, then they'll make you have to buy at least 300 units of it or something. But then there are less things that's like only 10 if you only buy 10, for example. And it depends on the supplier. You have to negotiate. There are people who are sourcing agents out there. They're just the middleman. If you're not sure how to go about it, these go directly to the actual suppliers themselves. As the e-commerce world is good in terms of delivering its physical products compared to the first one, which is digital. But you do need to do a bit of work, like personal branding, a bit of marketing. But there are people who does this without even showing their face as well, in terms of if you just get enough influencers out there to help you market your product, you just pay them some money to show their product in the videos, use that as the ad. You technically don't need to show your face, really. You don't necessarily need a personal story. You just need to have the right hook, the right problem, the right audience avatar. And that's pretty much the formula from what I'm sensing. It could be like a nice water bottle. Yeah, you could, as long as it has some sort of appeal to it, people would purchase it. The third one I think was quite interesting, which is online community. So if you can establish an audience of a certain type of people, and they're very engaged as well, then there's opportunities that just comes to you naturally in terms of people wanting to talk to those audience or get access to that particular market. I observed this when I was in this group called Melbourne Schools Discussion Group, because I'm also a tutor as well. I noticed the lady who runs the group, she takes sponsors. I did notice when she first produced a bit of a sponsorship guide, something like 1,000 a month. These tutoring companies will go to that group, be a sponsor, and pay her like 1,000 a month. All she's doing is just having a Facebook group. And I have her page up here. We have a lot of people. We need 50K now. But I have seen this happen with like community Facebook groups as well. When I wanted to like advertise my local cat business, for example, sometimes they'll ask me to pay ID them $30 so that I could post an ad in the Facebook group. It's something to think about, and that's how influencers work as well.
Those online communities can be quite lucrative because I know when we had the import business, my husband again would pay for subscriptions to these communities. So you had all these car forums, Nissan Silvia, Supra, Toyotas, all these different Honda, all these different car forums. And you had different tiers as well of sponsorship. And depending on how much you paid per month, you could have your own forum. So you could post ads and monitor it yourself, or you could only put ads in the wanted or respond to people. But they generated a lot of money because people were willing to spend to advertise to the right market. Like it was such a niche market that you had to go to the right community to be able to sell.
Thanks for sharing that, Liza. It's quite crazy. And events business like that too, like Cat Lovers Festival, people will pay money to be part of that because all your audience is there. They're the people who would pay a lot of money for the cats. Think about your personality as well. Do you like bringing people together, like for a forum or for events? Then this type of business is very suitable for you.
It's just surprising because like I'm just listening to you talk about all these different things and I'm thinking, oh yeah, we've done that before. Like a lot of these things, and even now, because like my husband has his own plant business, which is online, and it again very popular during COVID. And again, it was through Facebook groups where people were after all these rare plants and willing to pay stupid money for a cutting. And then I've got my son who has his own business selling like pre-loved clothing. So he used to be on Depop. He's also on Instagram, so he makes videos. He loads stuff up on TikTok and Instagram, and he sells through again these communities where people have a pop-up, and people will reach out to him and offer, hey, did you want a spot in our pop-up? And he'll pay whatever it is they're asking for, and then he'll have some of his clothes out there for people to browse. Like sometimes you go to those little pop-ups and they've got a couple of different brands or different sellers. It's like a market. And again, it's building that network so that people will actually reach out and invite you to these events.
A couple of years ago, I meet these people whose all they do is just run events industry. And then they'll invite everyone in that industry. All the compliance people are here, all the risk people are here, all the CEOs here. You can sell risk products here.
Yeah.
The ability to bring people together in a certain niche that has purchasing power, if you see the opportunity, is really powerful. Those are sort of the three that I've really researched and really looked deeper into it. But I have noticed other business models as well. For example, subscription boxes. I don't know if anyone saw that Japan treats in a box sort of thing that delivered to you every month.
Yeah. Japanese snacks.
That's a pretty cool thing. If you had that idea yourself, something just get delivered to me monthly, then that's a very cute business model. You know exactly who as well.
Yeah.
Mobile application or websites, obviously that's a hard one because that requires a lot of upfront investment. But we noticed that, right, when we subscribe to apps, like there's a lot of membership stuff in it. Like Notion keep popping up for me. Everything that's the application that's useful, or Netflix. If you want to make a lot of money, then yeah, application is probably the way to go in terms of you maintain the one application, you can sell it to like as many people as the system can hold. I feel like that's more scalable if you got the right applications. Affiliate marketing is putting links, like there's Amazon links and people click to it and then
You get that commission.
yeah, so commission-based stuff. I haven't really researched too much into this, but like you can get a lot. Like if you're getting commission out of like very expensive products, 10,000 products, you get 5% or 10% or whatever. If you get enough people clicking on your links, then it could be like a full-time income. I've seen online coaching pops up as well. You can coach online anything. I bought one myself about coaching on how to build an online course, and she sold like 3,000 per person, and she does it in cohort. And it was also a global audience. So the thing with certain topic is that you're actually not limited by where we are, like locally. On a certain topic, you actually market it globally. Imagine the market is the whole world. I've seen like fitness coaching online as well. Like the general advice is that if you have a business in relationships, health, or money, then those three are like universal problems. Everyone wants to have a better health, better relationships, more money. Whichever problem you tackle in those three areas, you have a good business. I guess what I figured out from all this exercise and is that pretty much it just boils down to these five as a beginner, which is you find a problem that's profitable, because if it's not a profitable problem, then it's not really worth it in terms of like if financial freedom's your goal. So that's the first thing you really figured out. Once you figured it out, then you create your offer. So people want to be able to be aware or see that problem, and having a solution shown to them, they would definitely just jump on generally. And you need to set up a marketing system. And this is where you hear words like lead magnets and conversion rates. Lead magnets is something that, you know how there's this pop up, give me your email and I'll give you the 10 tips to buy your first home. Then they get your email, and then with that email, they'll start sending you follow-up emails about other things that they do. Eventually, they get some data to know which marketing sources is getting a lot of conversion, people who are purchasing that final product. You can really analyze into this, and people make it very complicated. But it's just setting up a system. They call it a funnel system. So the more leads, the more people you can get into the funnel, then the more people would eventually end up buying your product. There's a lot of complexity of marketing there. If anyone's really wants to get into it, you can read a whole textbook. After you get those customer feedback, that's all the social proof you really need. Once you get that first 5-10 reviews, it's just a matter of going to number 3 and just running ads over it, and people will just keep buying it because you already got the social proof. And hopefully it's going to be sustainable in that generating of revenue. That's pretty much the general model. You have a problem that you can solve, then you just need to set up a system, and you pretty much got 8% or 9% of it, and it's just a matter of tweaking bits and pieces of each of these parts to make it more efficient. That's pretty much my presentation. I hope that this would help give you some ideas, Louisa or Michelle, because you weren't too sure what you're going to do. I hope that gives you some ideas. Important, Richard, Eliza, Carol, you're on your early business journey. Any questions?
No, thanks for that. You've put so much effort into the presentation. It's really good to learn from your experience, and then all of the other things that you've considered as well. It's really helpful. Thank you for that.
All good. yeah, if anyone wants to share their experience, and actually, yeah, Alan, I brought you along as well because I was really curious, Alan, when you said that you bought the business, like how you were able to buy a business, because I think that's definitely another pathway. You just buy a business, like a physical business. So yeah, just maybe quickly, Alan, want to share quickly how you did that?
Yeah, sure. The truth is, the biggest asset that we had was we going in with someone else, and because I wasn't really aware of the problem. I wasn't really aware of the market. I just have skills that I can bring, and he had skills that he could bring. We also, that way, we were able to double the amount of capital that we could put in as well. And I think both of those things meant that we could supplement each other really well. The thing else I'll say about buying a business as opposed to starting one, which it's a little bit speculative because I have started one from scratch, but the difference between like building a house from the start and buying a house that's already there is you can't set everything up from scratch in your image. It's already working, but if you want to change something now, you've got to knock down a wall to do it instead of just building it up in the way that you see it from the start. So it's quite an interesting one, and we're trying to adapt to what we think. Again, just look at your model as far as finding what the problems are and finding a profitable solution for it. It's us thinking that the problem isn't the same problem that the old business owner thought it was. It's actually a new one that we're inheriting. We're trying to work out our way around that. I think that's been an interesting thing that we're trying to figure out now, and to figure out how to approach the demolition of the old house, as it were.
Yeah, oh, that's such interesting. Yeah, I've seen it work. Like, obviously, if you already have a house that's sort of already built, and they can show you that it's like sustainable, giving regular revenue and things, then and the reality is that like the previous generation, like they're getting older and they want to sell their business sometimes, and if you see the opportunity, it's great to just jump in and yeah.
Yeah. And it's just very easy to get stuck in your ways. So the previous generation's been stuck in the previous owners from 2 generations ago from me, he's 70 something. So he's been stuck in the old-fashioned ways for quite a long time. There's a new market out there growing, especially in hospital and events and alcohol.
Yeah, and I think maybe the younger people now, and they're not looking up Google as much. I'm not using Google as much.
Mm. More turning to TikTok and less turning to Google in the old ways. Yeah, definitely.
Mm. All right, we're pretty much on time. Any other thoughts, guys? Louisa, you got an idea? Oh, Michelle?
No ideas, but that was such a great presentation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you had to experience it yourself sometimes, like you just realize there's a problem. Or it, at least now, I hope you're more attuned to how the world of business work, and you start noticing how the ads play with you and make you want to buy certain things. Because that's definitely what really helped like me to know the system behind it. And then I start analyzing how different business, like how they attract you. Yeah. So yeah, Eliza, thank you for sharing earlier. Really keen to hear more later. I'll reach out about your import thing. I think that's really interesting. Yeah.
No, it's good. Yeah, I think I was just listening to I guess the questions that Louisa had about the Catio, and I was just thinking because one of my cats, I've got 2 cats. One's a tripod because they would go out, and we were kind of like they go out during the day and they come in at night, and then he got into an accident. We don't know what happened, and he had to have one of his legs amputated. So now both cats are indoors, and yeah, Catio would be something ideal for them. And we've probably got, I guess, the space. We just have to make sure they wouldn't be able to break out from it. But yeah, there's definitely a need for it. And then also like whether some of your target demographic, because there are councils, I don't know whether one of the local councils near me, where they're putting out like enforcing like curfews for cats. That would be another potential market you'd consider, because for that particular area, LGA, people who have cats and they still want their cats to be able to go outside, the Catio would be the perfect solution.
Yeah, I actually have people telling me I should go to council and put my name there because
Or whether if there's like council events for you to get your name out there, like
yeah,
the council have some magazine or newsletter that they put out. or community groups in the local area, because not everyone is on Facebook, on social media. The older generation may not necessarily be onto that technology.
That's right. Yeah. So,
and that's potentially a demographic that you're not picking up.
yeah, actually interesting. I actually put an ad on Gumtree and I got one customer out of that, like one.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing that shift in like how, because before, yeah, Gumtree and eBay was the place to go, but now it's like Marketplace and Instagram, TikTok. That's how people are getting their advertising out there now.
Yeah. I have thought about letter dropping as well. Obviously, if you have a local business and you're dropping letters into your mailbox, people will still look at them.
I get those magnets for plumbers and sparkies and stuff with a number on it, but yeah, it's just interesting to see how marketing has changed, or how people contact each other now is very different. So yeah, I'd be curious to know as it goes on, like with the current economic situation that we're in, whether there's any change to that, whether if it picks up.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it'll just get worse. I think we'll just all die in social media. Yeah, I just can't see how we can avoid the internet. Like, it's just our lives too integrated.
Yeah, it's everywhere now. Kids are having iPads in schools.
So, marketing wise, I can't see how you can get out the Facebook or Instagram system like Meta because people in general spend a lot of time in those spaces.
It's good. Thank you for that discussion.
No, good. No, thank you for being involved in the discussion. Richard, I hope you're driving safe home.
I arrived 30 minutes ago, so all safe. Thanks.
Yeah, and then take care, Michelle, and I'm sure we'll see each other soon anyway. If I don't chat to you guys or see you guys, have a really good week, and I'll see you then.
Yep.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ian.
Feel
Thank
better.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.